This week has been an incredibly turbulent week in terms of Xbox, and we have some massive news to cover in today's video. With Xbox raising prices of consoles and their games to GTA 6 being delayed, alongside some massive Game Pass wins and hardware rumors, there is a lot to cover in today's video. My name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation. If you're new here or just returning, I cover everything from Xbox news, reviews, and updates every single day, so make sure you subscribe down below to keep up to date with everything Team Green. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive right into the massive news and updates coming your way. First up, I think it's best that we cover the massive news that dropped yesterday, and yes, it's not good news at all for the Xbox camp, especially if you're an Xbox user or a potential new Xbox gamer. Xbox has announced that the cost of their consoles, games, and accessories will be going up across multiple regions, and that started right after this news broke on Thursday. This includes an $80 price hike for the Xbox Series S and $100 price hike for the Xbox Series X in the US, and for those of us in the UK, it's a £50 price hike for the Xbox Series S and a £20 price hike for the Xbox Series X. This is an absolutely insane price hike and was something that, to be honest, I really wasn't expecting. We also got note from Xbox as well that some of their first party games that are releasing this fall will now even launch at $80, which, to be honest, is just utterly staggering. In a statement though, Microsoft said that it understands the changes are challenging for Xbox fans and that they were making a careful consideration given market conditions and the rising cost of development. Fortunately, there's no sign of a price increase for Xbox Game Pass as things stand right now, but I really wouldn't be surprised if this comes in the near future. In terms of what I personally think here on the channel, I think these price hikes are absolutely ludicrous at this point, and we can't keep blaming tariffs or global rising prices for the rise in these cost increases. Gaming is becoming an extremely expensive hobby these days, and this comes just after Xbox actually posted the day before that they've had record-breaking profits across their gaming sector. I don't actually want to shy away and not give an honest thought on this situation. Even as a big Xbox fan for most of my life, I'm absolutely gutted and really disappointed. Over generations, we have seen prices of consoles going down and down, and now we're not only seeing not one, but two price hikes within the same generation. This genuinely does make me worried about how much the next Xbox will actually be, and if Xbox are putting the final nail in the coffin for the Xbox console at this point. Of course, the only saving grace at the moment is that we still have the great value in Xbox Game Pass, especially with games going up to $80. The price to value ratio is absolutely staggering for this service. Industry analysts are actually stating that this is only the beginning and it's only going to get worse, and this certainly worries me not only as a fan but as an overall gaming hobbyist. What do you think of the Xbox price hikes, and what do you think of the gaming industry in 2025, and are you worried about where it's heading? You'll have to let me know down in the comments below. As I mentioned in the previous segment though, Microsoft has released its latest earnings report for this quarter that ended March 31st, 2025, and is very much the same story as last time when it comes to Xbox revenue. Content and services are up, but hardware is down. Specifically, Microsoft says that the Xbox content and services revenue has actually grown by 8% compared to this time last year, driven by growth in Xbox Game Pass, Call of Duty, and Minecraft. Hardware revenue though is obviously down by 6%, which is kind of to be expected considering console sales have been seemingly rough over the past year, but it's nowhere near as big as a decline as we saw in FY25 Q2, which was a whopping 29% down. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has also been bigging up the success of Xbox in an earnings call this afternoon, reeling off a list like a 45% increase year on year on PC Game Pass subscribers, seeing Xbox Game Pass have a growth of 150 million hours played within the last quarter, and Xbox ending the quarter as the top publisher across both Xbox and PlayStation as both pre-orders and purchases of their games. That's going to make the next earning reports very interesting indeed, and we'll just have to see how much success the likes of Doom the Dark Ages, South of Midnight, and Oblivion Remastered have brought Microsoft, not to mention Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and also Forza Horizon 5 recent PS5 launches. Now, out of the doom and gloom and into something a bit more positive coming our way very soon. If you've been looking for a new racing game to rival the likes of Forza Motorsport, we might have one in the form of Project Motor Racing, which is officially heading to Xbox Series X and S consoles some point later this year. This one is actually developed by a new team at Straight 4 Studios, made up of key talents that have shaped sim racing's legacy over 2 decades. The examples here include the likes of the GTR series, as well as the Project Cars series. This game though is set to actually feature 70 plus vehicles from 10 racing classes, and also 27 track layouts upon launch. There have also been mentioned that we will be having a brand new physics engine here with unmatched handling realism, alongside a dynamic weather system with a 24-hour day and night cycle. To be honest, it looks great and sounds great from press previews so far, and it does come out sometime later this year. Gearbox managed to showcase 20 minutes of the upcoming Borderlands 4 at the PlayStation State of Play the other day, and I have to say, upon looking at the footage more and more and delving more into this, it's looking incredibly exciting, and I can't wait for this newest entry in the long-running franchise. The presentation revealed 2 of the 4 new characters, alongside new mechanics, weapons, and so much more. We also got more of an idea about what the game entails, and that it takes place on a new planet called Kairos, and also features an evil villain called the Timekeeper. The new gameplay features shown look really good as well, and our mechanics such as gliding, wall climbing, and driving a new vehicle called the Digirunner. Additionally, the weapon systems have been revamped as well, allowing for piece combinations from different manufacturers, a new equipment system that enhances weaponry, and tools like rep kit and ordnance to offer more variety and strategy in combat. There is a ton more which I can't really cover in today's video, so if you want to learn more about Borderlands 4, definitely check out the overview video which is now live on the Xbox official channel. If you want to see more Borderlands 4 coverage here on the channel, make sure to subscribe and let me know down below. A massive bit of news actually dropped this morning, and I have to say I had to include it in this video as it's a massive bit of news for you Xbox gamers. It's official, and Rockstar Games have announced that GTA 6 will be getting delayed to May 2026, with the team insisting that more time is needed to exceed the expectations of the GTA fanbase. GTA 6 now has a confirmed release date for both the Xbox Series X and S consoles, and it will be coming out on the 26th of May 2026. This obviously frees up the full 2025 release period, and I know that many publishers were holding off their games for this potential GTA launch, but now that it's been delayed into 2026, I'm expecting we'll see a lot of confirmed release dates and a lot of new games coming out for this fall. Unfortunately, Fable has already been delayed to 2026, so it will be interesting to see how Xbox navigates its release next year. It does sting a little bit to know that we won't be playing GTA 6 for another 12 months, but to be honest, it's been 13 years of waiting at this point, so another year is pretty manageable. Let's hope that we see a new trailer for GTA 6 sometime in the near future, as I'll be really intrigued to see how the game is really progressing. Now, it's no secret, but Clair Obscur Expedition 33 has been doing incredibly well for itself so far since its release. On top of the incredible review scores, and you can check out my review on screen now, which I gave it a 9.2 out of 10, we've actually seen that the game has actually sold through 1 million copies since its launch. This is a great milestone for the team over at Sample Interactive, and I'm still surprised to see it made by only 33 people. If you haven't checked it out already, it's well worth diving into, especially if you have an Xbox Game Pass subscription. Far Cry 4 was announced for Xbox Game Pass a few weeks back, and it has since dropped onto the service. But one thing that fans are really skeptical about is if we'd see an updated patch like we got with Far Cry 5 and also New Dawn when it launched on the Game Pass, giving it a 60 FPS boost. Well, the Far Cry team has now shared the news that Far Cry 4 is playable natively at 60 FPS on the Xbox Series X and S, and that's without needing that FPS boost feature. The post on screen now also announced that some big discounts are coming, but remember, the Ubisoft title is now on Xbox Game Pass, but it does seem like you'll be able to snag it and fully own it for a really reduced price. For those of you who have never played Far Cry 4, now is the best time to do so. I really love this entry, and it's easily in my top 3 Far Cry games of all time. As a very big bit of Xbox Game Pass news for this week, I did get word from a community member over on our Discord server that Against the Storm, the Blizzard IP which was a PC exclusive, is coming to Xbox consoles and day one onto Xbox Game Pass on the 26th of June. This game was a PC exclusive back in 2023 and was already on PC Game Pass, but we are finally seeing a console release for this entry, and it is highly anticipated as it was one of the highest rated releases of that year. Essentially, the game is about constructing small settlements in a mysterious procedurally generated forest and turning them into thriving economies that can survive the inevitable storm. Given the game's great reception so far over on PC, I am really intrigued to see how this one holds up on consoles. It very much looks built for keyboard and mouse, so hopefully it'll appear nice on controller as well, like we've seen with the Xbox Game Pass release of Age of Empires 4 alongside Age of Mythology Retold. With some really interesting rumours going around in the past week, we actually got a rumour from Jez Corden over at Windows Central that Xbox may be potentially working on 3 prototype controllers for the next generation of Xbox. Firstly, Corden says that the Xbox Elite Controller Series 3 does actually exist inside of Microsoft. At the moment, we've been waiting years for this point for a follow-up to the Series 2, and apparently it's in development with a codename that Corden is quite privy to. He stated the following on screen now. We are getting some kind of Elite Series 3. I don't know if it will be announced in June though. I think maybe you see it in next year. Maybe it launches with the next gen Xbox, we'll have to see. He then talks about a so-called mid-range controller with the codename Sebel that has actually been leaked a few years ago, as well as a more basic Xbox controller that could essentially be the replacement for the current Xbox Series X and S controller. Interestingly though, one of the elements on the controller that he did mention was what they're calling direct to cloud, which essentially enables you to connect your Xbox controller directly to the Wi-Fi and to their server infrastructure, which means that playing Xbox Cloud Gaming would make it less latency inducing. This is basically what Google did with the Google Stadia controller for their cloud gaming service, and upon my own experience, it works very well and does reduce latency significantly within cloud gaming. Ultimately though, there are very few details that are known about these three Xbox controllers as things really stand, and Corden mentioned that you can take everything with a pinch of salt unless he provides a more concrete report on Windows Central itself. Would you be up for seeing some new Xbox controllers, and what do you think about the direct to cloud feature? Do you think it'll be useful, and do you even use Xbox Cloud Gaming? You'll have to let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comments below. As a final wrap up for this week, the Xbox Spring Sale is just about to finish up for another year, but Xbox is still keeping the momentum going with a Beyond Spring Sale that's just gone live, alongside two other brand new sales promotions on the Microsoft Store. Xbox's Spring Sale is packed with DLC discounts for things like expansions, costumes and more, but we've also got lots of new game discounts for Activision Blizzard and Star Wars titles that have appeared at the very same time. I will be covering these new sales that have just gone live on a video this Sunday, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on this upload. I've already put out a video as you can see on screen now, and this basically covered the Xbox sales that went live this Wednesday. You can go over there and check out the sales, and as always, do comment on that video to be entered into our free Xbox game giveaway we do every single week. What do you think about the Xbox price hike so far? Are you worried about the state of the gaming industry in 2025, or do you think it's being way blown out of proportion? Do let me know down below. I'd also be keen to hear if you're disappointed about the GTA 6 delay. Are you really anticipating this release, or are you thinking there's some more games that you want to play before this actually comes out? Whilst here though, remember to like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Xbox news, reviews and updates every single day. Whilst here, as I mentioned earlier, I did cover the Xbox Store sale going on at the moment. This one is covering the ones that came out on Wednesday, and there's some pretty good deals here, alongside some games that are rarely discounted but are well worth picking up.